Your project is collecting case studies of community-led and decolonized research or knowledge creation that addresses the climate crisis. How are you defining decolonized research in the context of your project? And what do you hope to learn from the stories you're collecting?
Thank you. Thank you all for inviting me, and thanks, Sandeep, for. We look at a larger concept which has evolved in our work called knowledge democracy. And the starting premise of this concept is that knowledge, not research, knowledge resides in multiple sites by multiple users towards multiple ends. Only a narrow form of knowledge business is called professional research. Therefore, the starting point in our approach to decode is to look at those examples where community-led initiatives, with or without the support of academic researchers, has created actionable knowledge solutions which made some impact on some aspect of climate. So the case study is currently that in the first round we have identified focus on Himalayan seeds that women's cooperative developed and transferred their grandmother's knowledge to systematize, of course, with partnership with some academic researchers. And in Gulu, your northern Uganda, rural women, Acholi women with herbal knowledge, coming in partnership with pharmacy department of the university to systematize that knowledge and make it more available. Or in Colombia, a case study where a group of indigenous communities have mapped their territory, including flora and fauna, in order to argue the case vis-a-vis the impending mining company, which wants to take over that and saying only 5,000 people live here, we will compensate them without valuing the land, the forest, the water, the streams, and the various vegetation that are there. So these examples will highlight what is it that makes such initiatives possible, and more importantly, how can they be encouraged, supported more actively. But the main issue for us is how do we look at decolonization? And our analysis has suggested that before, I'm happy you brought the colonial history, because before colonial conquest around the world, every community, every society had its own knowledge system, its own rituals, symbols, ceremonies, and ways of producing, storing, disseminating, and what we call knowledge mobilization or translation. They did not create specialized disciplines, which is the modern form of academic. So the European science establishment, led by UK and others, 500 years ago, destroyed, first of all, that knowledge system, devalued it in order to legitimize the conquest. Because if you can make the local community feel disempowered and stupid because they don't know anything, and you bring new knowledge, then you can rule over them without firing a shot. And this history is being repeated inside the countries even after liberation. So I really want to take up this conversation with my colleagues in the panel that the academic institutions in Global South are blind replicas of Harvards and Oxfords around the world. The disciplines are designed the same way. The curriculum of sociology in Chicago is the same as in Delhi. Should it be? So unless we decolonize the concepts, the meanings, merely getting Southern institutions to behave as if they are the voice of the Global South, they exclude a large majority of those who do not share those concepts and haven't gone through that education. So for us, decolonized research has a deeper connotation because knowledge is power and our work is supporting new form of knowledge activism which is led by communities themselves, their issues, their ways of understanding issues, and their capacity to transform, because ultimately development is about redefining relations of power and knowledge is used towards that end.
Thank you, Rajesh. And what a striking example of just how that history lives on and perpetuates itself in a myriad of forms. Can't wait to hear more. Thank you for sharing that.